Episode number 117 of the Wholesome Fertility Podcast. Welcome to the Wholesome Fertility Podcast. I'm Michelle, a fertility acupuncturist here to provide you with resources on how to create a wholesome approach to your fertility journey. So today I'm going to have back Julie Ryan, who is a medical intuitive. To get more information on her background, you can visit episode 102 where I had her on. But today I'm going to do something really special. I'm actually inviting two women that I've been working with to the show so that they can have readings about their fertility journey with Julie Ryan, who's not only a medical intuitive, but she's also a healer and she can heal from a distance. I personally had both from her and can say she's incredible. Totally the real deal. So I'm very, very excited to have this. I'm excited for the two women that I've been working with, and I'm excited for you guys to listen in. So welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you back. I'm so excited. I had this idea this week, and I have two women that I'm working with, actually a couple people, but two women that I feel like are so perfect for this. And both of them are reading the Spirit Babies book. They're really interested in that. And I just was like, oh my God, this would be such a great idea. And I'm so glad that you're willing to come on and do this. Such a gift.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love it.
Awesome. So I'm going to have my... What's that?
Thanks for asking me.
Of course. I mean, you literally told me exactly where my fibroids were, and I was blown away. I mean, I'm telling you, I was totally blown away. So I am going to text my first lady, Tanya, and let her know that we're ready. And she's going to join us. Hey, Tanya. Meet Julie.
Hi, Tanya.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Thank you. I love the red that you're wearing. Very holiday vibes.
And my grandma's brooch.
Oh, amazing.
Got to bring them out once a year.
Exactly. Or more than one. Why not?
I could wear it for the 4th of July or something. People go, she really is nuts.
I have to say, I'm grateful for this opportunity to both of you. So I feel really blessed. I'm really excited.
Me too.
So I don't know, should I just shoot out a question for you? And
so Tanya, tell me what's going on first. Let's do that. And then I'll explain to you what you signed up for.
Okay.
What you got yourself into here.
That's the question. I don't know. I mean, obviously, the main issue here is fertility. And we've been trying already for 3-4 years and nothing has happened. I've tried also the IVF route multiple times. I've done everything. But I've always been connected to doing it in a natural way or aiding all the efforts that I've done through IVF with natural things. And then after the IVF hasn't worked, and I've done it, when I say a lot of times, I think it's probably even 10 times. So it's quite a lot. Then I'm like, okay, I'm done with that chapter in a way, and I want to try everything natural possible in my hands. Like I came to the realization throughout this journey that I have the power and it's within me that I can improve my health in every aspect, physically and mentally and spiritually. And that's how I know I'm going to, improve and make everything better, and the babies will come. And I'm kind of in that journey. I feel like this year, I dedicated the whole time to, improving every aspect I could. Obviously, that's when I met Michelle, and I started doing acupuncture with her, among other things, and like taking supplements and everything like that. So I'm just at a point too where like I'm 41, my husband's 45, and we've tried so many things that we just don't know when it's going to happen. And I know when is the question that everybody wants to know, and it's a difficult one to answer. But at least if I'm in the more than when, at least I want to know if I'm doing the right things, if I'm taking the right path now, that if there's anything that I could, still fix or improve, or the spirits babies wants, want to tell my husband and I, you should improve this, or work on this, or something that we could still do, maybe that I feel like I've tried everything or almost everything, but maybe there's something out there that I still can do and I don't know about, or I'm not aware, or like something that my husband and I can work on together, because sometimes I feel that might be the issue too. Like, it's a tough journey, so sometimes it gets a little tough also for the couple, and that's where, I don't know, something that they need from us that we could do and become better people at it, and see where that takes us. Or maybe there's something like a health issue that I'm not aware of that is making it more difficult for me. Obviously, I never want to say the word infertility, because I think I'm fertile. I'm just having most other people do. So I know I will be a mother. I just don't know. And I'm sorry if I get a little emotional, but I know I will be. And I just need to know more, like, if I'm in my path, if they want something from us that we could actually, improve, and then maybe also I've come to ask myself, is like, are we going to have, our own biological children, or at least one of them, and maybe others won't, which is fine. But it's also, I don't know, maybe I'm throwing too many things out there. I don't know. That's kind of where we are.
And what if the doctors told you?
I diminished ovarian reserve, and my quality of eggs, it's really low, and I produce very little. And even with the stimulation throughout IVF and all the drugs, they did not work for me. Like, I could not produce more than the most they were able to take out one time were 3 or 4. And out of those, maybe 2 were good and 2 were not. So it's always been difficult. And then when the times I have not even gotten that far in the IVF journeys, because only twice they were able to do the transfer, the embryo transfer, but it wasn't a good quality embryo. My doctor, who has been with me this whole time, had seen that I'd gone through so much that he was like, you know what? You never know. Even if it doesn't look good in the lab, we'll give it a chance, because once it's in, the mother's womb, it might just pick up and be like, okay, I'm home, I'm comfy, I will develop and be better. And I was like, yes, I believe that. Like, once it's inside me, I think it would work. But it was not, not good quality. Obviously, out of the 10 IVF, like 2 only were transfers. And it was just bad quality embryos, and they were fragmented, and they were not able to develop, or even nothing happened out of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Well, God bless you for going through all of this. My goodness. And thank God you found Michelle. And it sounds like you found some wonderful people that are helping you on this journey. And it's not just about getting pregnant. I talked to a client this afternoon on a private consult who was having secondary infertility. And she said, the one thing I can tell you is that this has led me on a spiritual path that there's no other way I would have explored had I not been looking behind every corner and every cabinet to find out, what do I need to do to become pregnant? And I hear that so often from women who are trying to conceive. And Michelle, I'm sure you hear the same thing. Yeah. We're exploring every possibility that exists on the planet to try and get pregnant. So what I'm going to do, Tanya, is I'm going to get you on my radar. And what that means is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit. I'm a businesswoman who learned how to do woo-woo, and I'm a buffet of psychicness.
I like.
Yeah. So this is what I teach. I teach people from all over the world. You got to speak English.
It's my second language.
Well, you do really well at the English part. And so I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to watch a laser beam come from my body here. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama. So it's going to come down to you. I'm assuming you're in Florida near Michelle.
I'm in Miami right now. Yes.
In Miami. And then I'm going to have a hologram of you in my mind's eye. And I'm going to shoot energy through you from your feet up through the top of your head. And it's going to be as if I'm looking at an X-ray or a CT scan or an MRI. And I'm going to go right to your GYN area just to save time. And I'll see what shows up. The first thing I want to see is if you have baby spirits attached to your energy field. And they look like little orbs.
Okay.
You know, like, have you ever seen an orb in a photograph, maybe a family photograph or a different kind of photograph? Like a little, did you see The Wizard of Oz?
I've seen it. It's been a while, but I've seen it. Yes.
Okay. Well, you know how Glenda the Good Witch rides into Munchkin Land in a bubble?
Yes.
She rides into Munchkin Land in an orb. Whoever wrote the screenplay of that movie all those years ago knew. I'm telling you, they did. So oftentimes you'll see photographs, and it's because our digital cameras take the picture so fast that it captures energy. And some of those orbs, if you can pull the picture up on your computer and you blow it up, really expand it big, you can see faces in them. It's really fun when that happens. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check to see if you have babies attached to your energy field. The other thing to remember is babies choose the mom and the dad. We choose when we're born, where we're born, to whom we're born, and what the circumstances are that we're born into, so that our lives can have a basic trajectory to explore whatever it is we want to explore. So your babies are going to be treated like, you know, royalty when they arrive, right? After everything you've been through.
Yes, from us and from the grandparents, for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. So, all right. So here we go. So here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama, heading behind my chair, heading south, and it's connecting into you. Okay. I'm shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. You have 2 baby spirits attached over your right shoulder. They look like little orbs. They're not twins. They're spaced out. You know how when you go by the airport at night and the planes have their landing lights on and they're spaced out in the distance waiting for clearance to land? That's what they look like. I'm not seeing twins. When I see twin energies, they're at the same place above each shoulder. And I've seen that many times over the years. You're not, I don't see you with twins. That could change. But so I'm doing that. Okay. So there's 2 babies attached to your energy field, 2 baby spirits. Does that mean they're going to incarnate? No. Does that mean there's a really good chance they will? Yeah. Could they be birth babies? Could they be adopted babies? Either one.
Okay.
I'm getting they'll be birth babies when I ask the question.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going inside now. Excuse my eyes being closed. I can see better with my eyes closed. You know, which sounds funny, but it's like there's no distractions when my eyes are closed. Okay. So my eyes are closed. I'm in your pelvis. I'm going up. Uterus looks good. So I'm facing you. It's like I have an X-ray of you or a CT scan in my mind's eye. All right, now you've just been turned around to the back. So I'm looking at you from behind and going in. So I'm running your left, you know, I'm running it backwards, like up your left fallopian tube, up to your ovary on the left side. I see the little wispy things that are out there that catch the egg when it pops. Are you getting ready to ovulate about now?
Well, no, actually, I literally got my period right now.
Okay, you have it right now. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
ago.
Okay. Because I can see where your next egg is getting ready to ovulate on the left side. What it looks like is one of those, the ovary just looks like this pink kind of almond shaped, you know, organ, I guess is what you'd call it. And it has, when we ovulate, it gets this red. Did you ever have a zit when you were a kid that didn't come to a head? It was like an underground zit. It was red and swollen and it hurt like crazy. But before it popped into a head on it. That's what it looks like when ovaries are getting ready to ovulate. And I've seen this in actual surgery. I'm an inventor of surgical devices sold throughout the world. And back in the mid 80s, when laparoscopes first started being used, I was in surgery and I got to look through one of the first ones when they first started coming into vogue. And the surgeon said, "See that red looking zit thing over there?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, that's what it looks like when a woman's ovulating. So that was cool. So I can see where it looks like you're going to ovulate from the left side. Okay. So I'm doing like a mini movie and I'm watching you ovulate. I'm watching it come in. All right. So has somebody told you that your uterine lining isn't thick enough?
No, they would say so far the uterus is the only thing that seemed to be normal.
Okay.
At least when I was going through IVF, that was seemed to be okay. It seemed to be fine. It was thick enough. Like, no, I mean, only a couple instances where I would plummet that it actually doesn't help the uterus lining.
Yeah.
On those cycles. Otherwise, when it was either a natural cycle or other cycle with different hormones, it was fine.
I'm doing kind of a fast forward of the egg, coming, you ovulating and the egg coming, and the uterine lining doesn't look very thick. It looks thin to me. So what I'm doing, Tanya, is I'm shooting energetic estrogen into you to make that lining really thick. Okay. And so I've just shot it from your feet up through the top of your head, and I can watch that lining thicken up. So the lining looks like, it's blood. It's what we bleed when we have a period, but it looks thick. It looks kind of thick and fluffy. Imagine like thick red cotton almost that, has a liquidy feel to it like blood, but that's where the egg implants, but it's got to be thick enough for the egg to implant. I'm getting that that's part of the issue that's going on here is your uterine lining hasn't been thick enough for the egg to implant.
I have to say that in the past, my periods have been a little bit shorter than the usual in this past year overall, and less flow, which obviously translates to, probably the lining wasn't that thick and release as much.
Yeah. So I've done that. So I've shot extra estrogen into you. Okay. I'm watching an egg implant. I don't know if it's going to be this next one, but I'm watching it implant. So again, I'm fast forwarding. It's like we're watching a documentary and I'm fast forwarding to, what's going to happen kind of in slow-mo. All right. So that's happening. And it's going to implant where I'm watching it implant as I'm facing you is on your left side. So kind of above where your hip is, kind of on that, on that plane a little bit. That's where the placenta and everything's going to attach. All right. I'm watching it come out from there. So I'm fast forwarding through the gestation period. It's going to happen. I mean, I'm watching it happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. So what I'm getting is, have you been to see somebody that specializes in bioidentical hormones?
If I've been to...
Have you been to a physician who specializes in bioidentical hormones? Do you know what that is?
No, the first time I hear the term.
Okay. Bioidentical hormones are what our bodies make when we're young and fertile like you.
Okay.
As we age, our hormone levels diminish. And when you get to be my age, I'm 61, I'm on bioidentical hormones. So I'm tricking my body to make my body think I'm 30 when I'm 60, because it keeps my bones healthy, my brain healthy, and my heart healthy.
Okay.
Right? So there are lots of doctors that specialize, especially in your area.
I know somebody who does that.
On bioidentical hormones. And I send so many young women your age, Tanya, to these doctors who primarily work with women my age, to keep us healthy, but they also help young women get their hormones balanced.
Got it.
And it doesn't need to be a long-term thing. It can be a short-term thing. And your hormones have been all over on a roller coaster ride with the IVF.
Yes.
So I would recommend that you find somebody who specializes in bioidentical hormones. Just go talk with them and say, I feel like my estrogen levels might be low because my periods are not as far apart and they're not as heavy as they used to be. Is there something we can do? Bioidentical estrogen is the exact molecular composition that our bodies make when we're your age. Okay. And as we age, that diminishes. There are lots of pharmaceutical hormones. Those are made usually from pregnant horsemare urine, and they have extra molecules added to their formulas so they can be patented. So if we're going if we're going for broke here, you want the natural ones, the ones that are going to match what our bodies manufacture.
With
That
me,
would be that would be my suggestion. Do you want to talk to the babies?
yes.
Okay, let's talk to the babies. So the first one is, it's not imminent. I can tell when somebody's really close to getting pregnant because sometimes I'll see like that orb is just ready to go. And then yours is back a little bit. And then there's one back farther than that. So the first one, questions. Let's start that. Because every spirit, our heads are like big satellite dishes, Tanya, and they receive and they transmit frequencies. So you can talk to your baby's spirits. All right. Wow. And how you do it is you think of them and you ask a question and they're going to answer you. And it's going to come in within a second, as fast as you can snap your fingers. And then the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And it's just going to be second nature. If you think about their answer for more than a couple of seconds, that's going to be your brain talking to you. Okay. So, and spirits are really literal. So we want to be really specific if we're looking for guidance. So what's a couple of questions for baby number one?
Does the baby like the name that my husband and I love?
Which is what?
Domino.
Domino. They don't care.
They
Whatever
don't care.
Makes you happy. They don't care. That's a human thing. Spirit doesn't care.
Exactly. What is that?
Yeah.
So we have about 5 more minutes, just FYI.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
And then I have another person.
Perfect. Did you want a rocking horse for the baby? Is there a rocking horse?
Rocking horse? No,
Yeah.
no.
All right. The baby would like a rocking horse.
Okay. Okay. Let me write that.
You know what I'm talking about? There wouldn't usually, baby gets on it and rides it, when they're like a toddler and older.
I love that idea, actually. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Do you have a nursery set up yet?
No, nothing. We don't have any.
All right.
Didn't want to get too ahead of that. Obviously, I have ideas, but never got too far.
Okay. All right.
Do they leave me signs that are very specific? Sometimes, I don't know if it's my intuition or if I'm reading too hard into it and I'm like, maybe it's not. Like sometimes I am feeling down or something and then the song on my playlist, the next one that pops is something that I'm like, has a meaning to me. And then maybe it's a way of them saying something to me, or I'm reading too much into it. Like is that them saying things when there's a song that I like and I needed to hear that message or that lyric at that moment. Sometimes I don't know if it's like, is it them sending me a sign or?
Do you have a deceased grandmother?
Yes.
Okay.
2 of them actually.
Okay. You were closer to your maternal
I never met my maternal, but my mom has always spoken about her so highly and so much that I almost think I know her too.
It's her. She's sending you signs. And she's sending you a bunch of different signs. So good job. You're picking up your intuition's right on target that you're getting that from spirit. It's your maternal grandmother. She's sending you signs to increase your joy.
Okay.
Is what she's saying.
Oh,
yeah. And it can be in a multitude of different ways. The baby just wants you to chill. The baby's going, everything's good. Everything's fine. Just be happy. Think of happy things.
Yes.
You're focusing on the negative stuff and I'm not pregnant yet. I'm not pregnant yet. I'm not pregnant yet. So you're on that channel on your satellite dish head. I'm not pregnant. Why am I not pregnant? Blah, 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 blah. If you switch that channel to something that feels good, when we have emotions, Tanya, it's our internal GPS system saying, hey girl, you're out of alignment. If something feels bad, if your thoughts feel bad, they're false. Right. So you want to focus on things that are either neutral or feel good.
Okay. Yes.
And as soon as you do that, that's going to raise your vibrational level. That's going to allow you to get more intuitive input, and that's going to guide you on your path. So baby's just saying chill.
Okay. So
exactly 3 times.
I should be the same way.
Said than done. I know.
Okay. They leave me other signs too, or like I'm just giving an example. I've been finding little feathers.
Yes, feathers, absolutely. That came in earlier. I was going to ask you if you were seeing feathers. Yeah, those are from the babies. The feathers are from the babies.
Oh, wow.
The music, your grandmother leaves you all kinds of signs. Like you'll see a license plate, you'll see a van drive by with something on it that has a meaning to you. All these random things. She's getting you to increase your joy level.
Okay, that's perfectly, because I feel that sometimes it comes right literally when I'm feeling the lowest and I'm kind of sad, and it's like, oh wow, this song, or wow, like I see this little heart on a cement, wall on the street. So things like that sometimes is like, but then I get confused and like, am I reading too hard into it? And I really want to believe it's really a sign.
Yeah. So believe. It's that first thing that comes in your head. Boom.
Okay.
As fast as you can snap your fingers. When you start questioning that, you're out of the limit. Okay. All right. So it's as soon as you get that first thought, that spirit communicating with you.
Perfect. Okay. Wow. The feather thing. Yes. I never noticed it before, but a lot more lately. And the first one I noticed was I was crying in the shower, and this is like 2-3 months back, and I found this beautiful feather right at the bottom of the floor, and I'm like, how did this get here? And I don't know, and I was crying really like hard, and I was like, it took me by surprise, and I took it as a sign of something. And then I see it here and there. Sometimes I think like, okay, well, it comes from the cushion because we have a cushion that is like down feather or another. At the same time, it's the placement or the moment where I find them where it makes it different.
Yeah. That one you found in the shower was from your guardian angel.
Oh, wow.
And your guardian angel's name's Sebastian.
Wow, there's a name. Yeah. Wow.
So the little feathers, you're seeing little white feathers, right? Like those little down feathers.
Yes.
Yeah, those are from the babies.
Oh my God. That's amazing. And then a random thing.
One more thing, just because my next person's about to come on, but I would love to keep that. I'm so sorry.
Of course. But that's it. Don't worry. I think
no, you
what
could
you
say,
gave me is plenty. Is like I could keep talking. You know me. So I'm like, this is. And don't worry. I heard, and I feel like I don't even need more. Like it makes me happy and full of joy. So
it's a done deal. You just have to keep walking towards it. Just know it's going to happen. Let go. The more we try and control things, the more we limit the possibilities, because life unfolds in ways that if we just let it unfold, it's going to unfold in ways most of the time even better than what we've envisioned. Okay. So when we try and control things, we limit what the possibilities are. So just know you're going to be a mom, and then watch it unfold. Watch the adventure.
Okay. I have to chill, like the babies say.
I love you, Tanya. Mwah. Beautiful person.
Thank you.
Bye, Tanya. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
You too. Thank you.
You bet.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Admit Jesselyn. Jesselyn's going to come on. Hey, okay. Jesselyn. Oh, she's connecting to the audio.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't see you. Where are you?
You don't? Let me see. Oh, start video. Whoopsie.
Hi. So Jesselyn, hi. Julie, Jesselyn.
Hi, Jesselyn.
Hi,
nice
Julie.
to meet you.
Likewise.
So any questions that you have for Julie? Julie's a medical intuitive. She could basically MRI your body, like from Alabama, and send energy.
You were on Mars. I could hook it to you. Yeah. Jesselyn, tell me what's going on with your fertility journey.
Okay, so I recently had a miscarriage in September. Thank you. And right now I just had another IUI. I actually find out next week if I'm pregnant or not. I did the progesterone test yesterday, and I actually was at a good range. They said they wanted me at 15 or above, and I was at 20 something. But what really concerns me is I have a lot of chronic illnesses. So, I've been going to Michelle to take care of the inflammation for my rheumatoid arthritis. I'm diabetic. I have type 1 diabetes since I was 6 years old. I pretty much have good control. I'm seeing my endocrinologist more frequently now. I have a continuous glucose monitor and a pump. And then I also have PCOS, which I found out when I was going through this journey of, trying to get pregnant. We've unofficially been trying for a year. We officially started in June after we got married. This would be my 4th IUI.
God bless you.
Jesselyn, mention the orbs because we just talked about orbs.
Oh, yes. So I read the book. A friend of mine recommended me Spirit Babies by Walter Macachin. I may have massacred his last name. And I was learning about the orbs, and I don't know if I can show you. Maybe I can take down the picture, but we're remodeling the house. I recently moved this photo to in front of my desk since I work from home now. And when I look, I got goosebumps. I see, again, I know the sun is behind us, but I'm sure the sun has something to do with the infrared colors and the lighting. My husband and I each have an orb in front of us, like a translucent orb. And then I have a little green orb by my shoulder. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to see it, I can show you.
Sure, let's see it. Yeah.
Isn't it funny? You just talked about it, and I remember her telling me this just last time I saw her in my office.
Yeah. Yes. And so especially over the shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check this out. Can you see it there?
Oh, there's glare.
A little bit of a
maybe tilted glare. A little bit.
You know what? Let me turn on a different light and let me turn off this lamp. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Oh, right? Yeah. Oh, I like those doors in the back.
Oh, thank you.
The barn doors. They're so beautiful. I built them. I love them. My God. No wonder they're all bruised.
So I don't know if you can see it better this way. Oh my God, there's still a glare.
Yep, I see it.
I see it on your shoulder. I see the one on your shoulder. Yeah. Okay.
And then I have like a translucent pink one in front of me, and he has like a translucent red one in front of him.
Are they the same size or are they bigger?
They're bigger.
Yeah. All right. The one over your shoulder is a baby spirit. We were just talking about that with Tanya, that the baby's
She literally said it was on the shoulder.
Yeah, it's an orb. Oh, wow. That's what I see. It looks like an orb. I say it's like Glenda the Good Witch rides in on an orb, into Munchkin Land in the Wizard of Oz. And that's what it looks like. But they're little, and they go over the mom's shoulder. And then the bigger ones are deceased loved ones who are around you.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So do you have anybody close to you that's deceased, perhaps a grandparent or
your grandmother?
Yeah. So that's who's in front of you, probably in front of your heart, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of tilted, but yeah.
That's where they like to hang out, and they show up in pictures. Isn't that cool? If you have that picture on your computer and you blow it up, sometimes you can see faces in the orbs, which is cool.
Ooh, yeah, it's really cool. I need to try that.
So yeah, people send me pictures with orbs in them all the time, and they'll say, "Okay, who is this?" And we'll blow it up, and it will be very descriptive. They'll know who it is as soon as we blow it up. I mean, I'll tell them in the meantime, but I'll say, "Blow it up, see what you see." So we'll do that. Yeah. So what are your first try? You had a miscarriage. Now you're doing this. The doctors are talking about your PCOS, your RA, your diabetes as issues that are preventing or making fertility challenging. Is that what I'm understanding?
Well, actually, the IVF doctors aren't concerned with my diabetes and my rheumatoid arthritis. That's more me and my endocrinologist, because he wants to make sure I don't have any complications if I do get pregnant.
Right.
The PCOS has been the hard part because I don't ovulate, on a normal cycle. Like I'm literally maybe 6 or 8 days after. I ovulate later in my cycle. So it's been, they said, I've been chasing my ovulation pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the PCOS is caused by your diabetes, It's caused by the insulin. Oh yeah. It's a sugar thing.
Okay.
So there's a book called Why We Get Sick by Benjamin Bickman, Bikman. And he's a PhD researcher at Brigham Young University. So Bikman, Bikman, why we get sick.
Okay.
If you just Google him, Jocelyn, like do YouTube and Google Ben Bikman, and there are a boatload of interviews with him. I mean, you can get the gist of his findings there. But PCOS, endometriosis, all that stuff's caused by an excess amount of sugar and insulin resistance. So the RA and the PCOS are all gut issues. I mean, you look thin. What are you eating? Do you eat healthy or?
Well, I went on a gluten-free and soy-free diet when I started seeing Michelle, and I do feel better. I actually just got back my results, Michelle. I was going to review it with you the next time I go and see you. But I actually found I also have moderate reactivity to like eggs and garlic. So there's a lot of stuff that my body, I guess, just doesn't like.
Yeah.
But I eat healthy. I have my favorites are avocado, eggs. I love salads, chicken, meats, protein. Like I stay away from the carbs, rice, pizza, mashed potatoes. I don't like any of that stuff. So I've always have eaten healthy because I got this from as a young age. Like I don't like sugars. I go to parties, people offer me cakes and cookies and I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
So now it's been tough just because I feel more restricted, not being able to have the gluten and the soy. I can't believe how many things in this world have gluten and soy. My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I try my best. Like I snack on pistachios. Like I do the beef broth. I was doing chicken broth before, but chicken is another one that I have mild reactivity to. So I'm going to get beef broth, going forward. I just ordered it now. So, but yeah, I think I eat well. I exercise. I used to run half marathons. I was a runner. When COVID started, you know, my exercise kind of decreased as well. But I consider myself to be, apart from the chronic illnesses, I take very good care of myself in terms of exercise and diet.
Michelle, I'm going to send you the link for the gut biome test that you can share with Jessalyn. And I think it makes sense for you to do that, Jessalyn, just because it's going to tell you what the status of your immune system is. And our immune system's pretty much based in our gut. Okay. And it's based on what the ecosystem is of your immune system. It's going to give you suggestions on, here are your superfoods, here are the foods for you to avoid, here's everything else.
Nice.
The foods for you to avoid may surprise you, like what you were talking about before. Some of the foods that you think are healthy and you're thinking, well, why would that not be good for me to eat?
Right, like it's chicken.
On this
and cauliflower. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to eat?
Yeah. So it's because of the composition of all the critters in our gut, and there are trillions of them, you know, bacteria, viruses, parameciums. God only knows what all's in there. I don't know that we want to know. I mean, it'll tell you, a big list of, okay, here's everything in your gut, but okay, what are you supposed to do with that? I want to know, what are my superfoods? What are the foods for me to avoid? What's everything else? And it comes with a phone app, which is really cool. So it makes it really easy. So let's do the Jessalyn diet. The RA and the PCOS is gut related, and you can fix that once you know what's going to work for you to eat. Perfect. So what I'll do is I'll get you on my radar, and we'll see what's going on. How this works is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, Jessalyn, and I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to watch a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to hook into you. Are you in the Miami area?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then I'm going to have an X-ray or a CT scan or an MRI of you in my head, a hologram of you. And then I'll be able to, we're just going to go in and see what's going on. And I'll get pictures in my head of things that are happening. I'm an inventor of surgical devices sold throughout the world, and an entrepreneur who learned how to do woo-woo. And now I teach people how to do woo-woo throughout the world. So
I signed up.
That's in my class, which I so excited.
January.
I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of what Michelle got you into here this evening.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Here comes my laser beam from Sweet Home, Alabama. And now I close my eyes, Jessalyn, because it helps me see better, because I don't have distractions, with what's going on. Okay, got you. Shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head, turned around to the back. Okay. Has anybody told you that your uterus looks like it's tilted forward a little bit?
It sure is.
It sure is. Okay. That's what I'm seeing. So let's see if we can tilt it back a little bit so that it's going to be easier for those eggs to get in there to implant. So what I'm seeing is, imagine if your uterus has knobs on either side of it, and we're just tilting it back just a little bit so that it's in the right position. All right. And then securing the knobs that then go away. I see these wild analogies in my head, and they get downloaded into my head. I see them in my mind's eye, and then they get downloaded into my head, thoughts of ways to describe this to you so you can envision it, Jessalyn. Okay. Because when we envision if you can envision what I'm seeing, or at least get a sense of it, it's going to help integrate the healing into your body. Because the body's always going to follow what the brain tells it, even if the brain doesn't believe it. Right?
Okay.
I mean, think about a time when you watched a scary movie on TV. Your brain knew it was pretend, but your heart might have felt like it was getting ready to jump out of your chest at any moment because it was so darn scary. So that's what we're doing. So we tilted that. All right, I'm turning you around. Let me see what's going on the front. So what I'm doing is I'm running, imagine I'm watching a documentary with your GYN reproductive system. So I'm watching an egg pop out of an ovary, all right, left side, coming down the fallopian tube, that's open, coming into so it's almost like, since your uterus was tilted forward, it didn't have like a pinball machine. Mm-hmm. When you're playing pinball, and if it's not on the right level, the pinball's not going to go where you want it to go. Does that make sense? It's like the angle wasn't optimal for it. So going in there. Okay. All right. Uterine lining looks good. All right, so I'm fast forwarding. I see an egg implanting. It's on your left side. All right, I see a baby growing. You have 3 baby spirits over your right shoulder.
Oh my God.
They look like orbs, like you saw in that picture. They're not triplets, they're spaced out. Okay, like airplanes coming into land at the airport at night with their lights on, their landing lights on, they're waiting for clearance, to land, but they're spaced out in the distance. So babies attached to the mom's energy field sometimes years before they're conceived. And they can be either babies that you birth or babies that you adopt. In this case, what I just saw was a baby that you're going to birth. Okay, so doing that. All right. You may end up adopting one too. I don't know if you guys have looked into that. That may be premature at this point, but that opportunity is there. Like, you may have 1 or 2, and then you may adopt one. Okay. Kind of a thing. Okay. And it may not be that you're just going out searching for adoption, but may be like a family thing or a friend thing or a relative thing where you end up maybe not even formally adopting, but I'm getting that you're going to be a mom to 3 kids. Okay. Right now. That's what I'm getting. The other thing to remember that's really important is that things that have happened in the past, Jessalyn, are set. Things that have happening right now are set. Things that are happening in the future are fluid. And there are a bazillion variables that can come in to affect an outcome. Your free will, somebody else's free will, global pandemics, stuff like that we don't plan on, that can happen. So just keep that in mind and remember that as you go forward. I see you in labor. So yeah.
I got the chills.
Me too.
When you get the chills, that's spirit validating.
It happened to me before too. Yeah.
Did it with Tanya?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
When you said the baby, I was, I'm getting them again.
Yeah.
I get them when I talk to my spirit baby. I'm doing what Walter Mackichin says to do. And I let him or her respond, and I get chills when they respond. It's pretty cool.
Right. So do you want to talk to your babies? Okay. So our heads are big satellite dishes, Jessalyn, and they transmit and receive frequencies, right? And so, kind of like a radio station coming into the satellite on your car with satellite radio, right? Or in your home, we have satellite dish on our roof. And so spirits are super literal. We want to be really specific if we're looking for guidance or advice. They're going to, if you ask them a question or make a statement, they're going to answer you within a second. If you think about it for more than a couple of seconds, that's going to be your brain talking to you. So you want to answer them. You want to ask them something. I mean, it's going to come in fast. What most of us do is we'll get a thought in our head and it feels like it's our thought. Well, that's how spirits communicate telepathically. So it does feel like it's our thought. It's going to come in your head. And then most of us just discount it. And we say, oh, that's just my imagination. Or that's really not the baby. Or that's whatever. So boom, as soon as it comes in, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. The more you do it, the more validation you're going to get. The more validation you get, the more you're going to trust it. And then it's just going to be second nature to you. And practice it with stuff that doesn't matter. Like, is it in my best interest to eat this apple or to eat this orange? Really in the scope of your life? I mean, maybe for you, it might make a difference with the the glycemic index, but really it's like, should I eat this piece of fruit or is it in my best interest to eat this, I don't know, roast beef sandwich, whatever. So practice it with stuff that doesn't matter in the big scope of things. Okay. Questions for the babies.
Am I doing and preparing myself and my body and the environment enough for them to feel safe to transition over, or at least the first one in line?
That baby is saying it's not about his safety. You got to get the inflammation levels down.
Okay.
Okay. And that's diet. So that is the number one, now if you break your leg, you're going to get inflammation, from the break with the body trying to heal it. But the inflammation in your body has not been optimal. So get the inflammation down. Food is the best medicine. So pay attention to that. That's what I'm getting. Let me get the inflammation. I'm just going to calm down the inflammation while I got you on my radar. Inflammation looks like red fog over body parts, and your whole body looks inflamed. That's the RA, right? It's a little bit more concentrated on some of your joints. Your right knee looks especially like it needs a little bit of TLC right now. So red fog over body parts is what inflammation looks like to me. I calm it down with anti-inflammatory energy, Jessalyn, and it's kind of a royal blue color, the kind that the color you'd see in the middle of ice packs. Those refreezable ice packs. It's that color as it appears to me, and it just calms it right down. So if your knees are hurting or another body part is hurting from the RA, imagine putting an energetic ice pack. Just close your eyes and imagine what it looks like, and then imagine how it feels, that it feels cold. Because again, the body's going to follow what the brain tells it, even if the brain knows you're making it up. The body doesn't know the difference. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing. Okay. Other questions for the babes?
I know they may not know the time frame, but do they know when? I guess just when the inflammation comes down, there isn't like a set time, because I'm 38. That's another thing that worries me.
What came in, and again, future things are fluid, but what came in is you will be a mom within the next 4 years. So my question is, with more than one child, I get a yes. So prepare yourself, because, once you get going, it may happen fast. My mom had 3 miscarriages before she got pregnant with my older brother. And they went to some shrine and they lit a candle, and she had 4 kids in 5 years. And she said, she said, we decided we better go blow out that candle at that shrine, because we'd had enough at that point. But yeah. So
when you mean within the
come fast. that it's going to, once you get the inflammation down, the PCOS is not going to be an issue. And the RA is going to diminish as well. And, you know, it's got to be kind of like you broke the code. Okay.
And the visualizations will help.
What's that? I'm sorry?
The visualizations.
Yes. Right. Right. Other questions for them?
Delivery, like, because again, with my chronic illnesses, you know, will the delivery process be a safe one for me and for the babies?
Yeah. Have you thought about delivering in a non-traditional way? Have you looked into that?
I know from a past friend of mine who had a doula, but I haven't really, you know, I guess I don't want to think about that since I'm still not pregnant, but I would be okay with it if I knew I was going to be safe.
This is so random, but I'm just going to tell you anyways, because it's coming in, have you heard of those water deliveries?
Yes.
That's what I saw you doing, was a water delivery, because it's going to be easier on you and easier on the baby. And I know some hospitals have birthing centers now that offer a bunch of different ways to deliver. And some of them are pretty progressive out there. Michelle, you would know way more about that than I.
I wanted to do it, but I couldn't find one, but now it might be completely different.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a perfect combination to be accessible with doctors and then still be able to do that. So I can look into it, but hopefully we'll get a pregnancy soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw you delivering in a water delivery kind of capacity where you're in like a little kiddie's pool kind of thing.
I do love the water.
Yeah. And you're, you know, the baby, you're up to kind of your waist in water, and it's relaxing and it doesn't hurt your joints. And I don't know anybody that's done a water delivery, but I know I've read about women that have, and it's been really amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I heard amazing things about it. I really wanted to do it. But my husband being a doctor, he's like, I don't know. He wasn't sure if he wanted me to be somewhere else, but I really wanted to do it.
He's like, bring in the stirrups, right? Bring in the stirrups. Let's do it the traditional way.
He just wanted a doctor just in case, you know. Well, he's an emergency room doctor, so they're trained to think they're the worst.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other questions?
Are any of them tied to me from a previous lifetime?
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So talk to me. This has come in 3 or 4 times, Jessalyn. Mm-hmm. Do you have a baby girl baby dress? Or somebody's bought a baby dress, or you have maybe some of your baby dresses from when you were a baby, or your mom does, or somebody does?
I think my mom may have stuff from my sister and I when we were small.
Okay. All right. Because I keep being shown this darling little baby dress, like for a baby girl that's just a couple of months old, maybe.
So baby girl.
Like a 0 to 3 thing. I keep seeing 0 to 3 month. Mm-hmm. Size, like a little one. That's just darling. So something to do with a baby dress.
I have a question. Do you remember you told me that you got that little sign and you had it on you? I knew you were going to think about that after.
Yes. So one day I was actually at my mom's house, and it was a few weeks after the miscarriage, so I was still bummed. And I was going through a magazine, personal creations magazine. And I ran into this. This is one of the names that I was thinking of naming the baby. And it's a name that you could have for either a boy or a girl. Because at this point, I am happy with whatever gender, as long as the baby is happy and healthy. But I ran into this, and this I've kept because I think it's amazing.
Oh, how cute. Yeah.
Yes. And then the date, and I was like, oh, the date near the date that I was going to do my IUI. It happened to be a little later just because I ovulated later. But it says, Jordan, our little miracle, since it will be a rainbow baby, since I did have a miscarriage. But I don't know, something told me to keep this, and I keep it as the bookmark to the books I read now.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So you're on an adventure. Everything unfolds perfectly, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. Certainly feel your emotions and just know that it's all unfolding perfectly, and it's what your spirit wants to experience, which is hard for us to wrap our human minds around that, especially when we're feeling awful, like we're grieving a miscarried baby or something like that. But when we stay focused on, all right, how's this benefiting me? It's benefiting you in some way, even if it's not easy to tell right off the bat. It's benefiting you in some way. And if you can keep your emotions at least neutral, or gratitude is a great way to have a high vibration level, then you're going to be able to get divine guidance, and your spirit's going to be able to help you. It's like an internal GPS system that we have when we feel badly, and it's our spirit saying, hey girl, you're out of alignment. Look at this from a different perspective, and trust that it's all unfolding perfectly. That baby that you miscarried, who knows? There are a bazillion reasons why you miscarried that baby. It's Mother Nature at its best, at her best, right? What's the statistic, Michelle? I've read like some huge amount of pregnancies are miscarried, and the women don't even know about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge percentage.
It's actually a very normal thing.
Yeah.
We think it's not normal. And especially when women go through fertility challenges, they think it's because of that. It's automatic. But it actually happens to people just normally.
And we are not even aware of it, most of us, because, the baby, the embryo, it gets expelled in a period.
It feels like a late period. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't know what's going on. So I think with all of the technology and the advances that we have in modern medicine now, we know way more than we ever have. And if we go back to, if you trust that miscarriage was perfect the way it was, that baby's spirit will always be around you, that miscarried baby's spirit. And who knows what that miscarried baby's spirit wanted to explore? Maybe in a past life, that baby's spirit was a mom that miscarried. In this round, it wanted to explore what it was like to be the miscarried baby, right? Maybe you were a miscarried baby in a past life. And in this life, you want to explore what it's like to experience that from the mom side. Maybe you were the father of, maybe you were the sibling of, there are endless possibilities. But if you just trust that everything's unfolding perfectly, and then ride the adventure. The more we try and control things, the more we limit our possibilities. Because God, the universe, your deceased loved ones, the baby's spirit, on and on and on and on. Oftentimes when we try and control things, if we just let them flow, are going to turn out better than we've even imagined they could turn out. So that's, and once you do have a baby, there's a good chance that you may look back and you'll say, oh gosh, I'm so glad that baby Jordan was born when he or her was. Because Jordan, you could be a girl or a boy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So good job. Choose a name that could go either way. And you can say, okay, now I understand, because something is more perfect in your world for baby Jordan to come in. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. Any last questions for the babies?
Would they feel comfortable if I did IVF or natural? I don't know if the babies can answer that, or you. That's my last question. I just remembered.
It doesn't matter. Whatever you prefer, whatever's better for you. Okay. The big thing is get your inflammation down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome,
your uterus energetically now is positioned properly. Okay. Yay. Which may or may not show up on a scan. Who cares if it does? Sometimes they do. And it really freaks the doctors out. It's hilarious. You're like, okay, well, this scan doesn't match the one that we took today. Let us redo that. So prepare yourself, because sometimes
awesome. I love that. I love all this. So this is amazing. Thank you so much.
You are most welcome. So Michelle will let me know.
I will. I'll keep you posted.
Yes. Yeah.
Kisses.
Awesome.
To both of you guys. Thank you both. Thank you, Julie, for coming on and doing this. And I'm just so excited that you get to witness this, Jesselyn. It's kind of it's amazing.
Yes, sure is. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You bet. All right. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Likewise.
Bye.
Bye.
So that concludes today's episode. You can find all of the links mentioned on the episode notes. If you're enjoying these episodes, please take a moment to share and leave a review. Reviews mean everything to podcasters, and I really enjoy hearing from my listeners. You can also find me on my website at www.thewholesomelotus.com or email me at info@thewholesomelotus.com. I love hearing from my listeners. If you're interested and want updates as well as a free ebook on my top 10 fertility boosting habits, you can visit my fertility page on www.thewholesomelotus.com. I thank you so much for listening in and hope that you have a beautiful day.